How does it feel to be kicking off this year, and how do you feel audiences are going to resonate with the film?
I think they're going to love the film. I think they would have loved it under any circumstances. But the fact that it is suddenly so very, very timely, I think they're going to be, it's going to make everybody feel great. Somebody is saying something that is to the point. Somebody is fighting hatred.
Well, and it's not just Sundance where you have a history with Utah, obviously with Footloose. I wanted to ask, what do you think about Sundance possibly moving out of Utah? And do you have an opinion on where you want it to be, or why do you think it should stay here?
Is it going to happen? This is the first I heard about that.
It's been in the air for about a year now. They have a few different locations.
Gosh, I would hate to think that it was moving from Park City, but that's mainly because I only picture Sundance here and nowhere else, and everybody must feel so sentimental and so alarmed that that's even a possibility. I know it's a big mess. I know it's a really hard logistical haul once a year for this town. But boy, everybody would miss being here.
And do you have a favorite line from this film that you could give us just a sample of?
I guess, haven't been asked that. I would say, you don't know if you can sing until you sing.
I love it. Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure meeting you. You have such a way of being able to get to the heart of these characters and really put it on their sleeve for the audiences to see. Why was JIMPA the next thing that you wanted to premiere here? And do you see audiences gravitating to it the same way?
Oh, I hope so. For me, making films is all about putting people on screen that I feel like I see in my life and I don't necessarily see on screen all the time. And also, I always fall deeply in love with the characters. This one was an interesting one because it's largely based on parts of my own family, as well as a lot of fiction. So it was kind of, how do I do that? Why do I want to explore this? There are a lot of artists that I love that really open themselves up and use their own lives. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be really in this business, I better just rip myself open, which you do anyway. You do that in every film. But in this, it's particularly relevant. I mean, why did I want to make it? Was because I really wanted to see a conversation between my child, who was a trans non-binary teenager, and my dad, who was an eccentric gay man. And my dad had passed away, and so I just wanted to see them talk to each other. And in many ways, I wanted to see a conversation across generations. And that just turned into this. And then you start to go, well, how do I tell a story in a way that's exciting for an audience and fun and beautiful? And then the characters start speaking and they start doing their own thing. So that's why. Yeah.
Well, and I love what you said there, especially with how you're wanting to bring that representation, especially to red states like this that might need a little bit more of that. Sundance right now is in the midst of possibly moving out of Utah. I wanted to ask, is that something that you're for or against, or why do you think Sundance should stay in Utah if you think so?
I mean, I love coming here because it's so... I come from a desert city, so it's hot and dry and there's definitely not snow. So for me, coming here is partly just the awe of the landscape is so big, but also there's this, we always think it's like filmmaker camp, like you come and you trek around and you're in your snow boots and everyone cares about movies, and it's quite amazing to be in that sort of bubble to release something, because then your film goes out and it's for everybody. But there's just a moment where you get to be somewhere where it's just a really enjoyable, amazing group of people watching.
And last question, what were some of the exercises that you did with the cast on set to build that family relationship?
I do so many exercises. I really love the part where we're bringing everyone together, and we had 3 different shoots in Australia and the Netherlands, and 4 in Finland and back in Adelaide again at the end. So we had different groups of people that we needed to bring together. For me, we do a lot of different things and they're never really set, and it depends on the relationship that I want to build, but we do a lot of movement work and really simple kind of exercises that drop us deep into kind of intimacy, I suppose. We did on this was really one thing that stuck for everything, which sounds so silly, but everyone drew each other where you could, like, if we were to do it, you'd have to draw and I'd have to draw at the same time. We're not allowed to look down and we're not allowed to take our pens off.
Straight
And
eye contact.
everyone would do it. And this is how you'd meet each other, and everyone would be really looking at each other and not worried about themselves for a second, you know? And so we have these beautiful portraits of everyone that are
Oh, that's
amazing.
beautiful. That's so cool.
Except John was too good at it. His portraits were always like,
A mosaic set.
like, what is this?
That's amazing. I cannot wait to see this. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hi, Patrick with ABC4.
Hi, Patrick. Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So,
Hi, John.
oh, we got to get.
Hi, darling. How are you? Nice to see you. You look fantastic. So do you.
What was it like working with this guy?
So amazing. He's such a joy. He's a true joy. He just, no matter what went wrong or what happened on set, he'd just get into the car and go, oh, today was delightful. And you just believed him. You know, he's such an optimist, and it's contagious. It's infectious. It's the best. Yeah.
Right. In this story, it's really delving deep into the family dynamics. Talk about what it was like on set. Were there any exercises or things you guys were doing, or were you just going out to eat and hanging out?
I mean, both. My mum, Sophie, who's the director, is a very exercise-driven director. We do a lot of sort of drama exercises, and we get given tasks and sent away. So there were times where I had to write a letter to Collie, to Olivia, and she would write one to me, and we would exchange them. So we did things like that. But also, it was a lot of coffee in the morning and going for walks and all of that sort of natural stuff as well. Yeah.
Well, and if there's anything that you want Sundance audiences to take away from your character, what would you like them to take away?
Gosh, what a big question. I think what I would like for an audience to take away from Francis is to always tap into the joy in their lives and to find what makes them tick and try their very best to follow it. And, you know, follow it and see where it takes you. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Can't wait to see it.
Appreciate it. Enjoy.